Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my tutorial on how to create custom dialogues in Android. As you can see, I've already created a little application for you, and if I press on this button over here, you will see a little notice dialog popping up, and it'll tell the user to watch out. The user can choose whether he wants to stay on the screen or whether he wants to go back. And if I press on this button over here, you will see a list dialog coming up, and the user can make a choose from this list, and both of the user choices get redirected to the activity. And these are two very basic kinds of dialogues in Android, and we're not going to talk about one of them in this tutorial. But if this is what you're looking for, you should go and check out my blog post. I've linked it down in the description, because I explained everything you need to know on this over there. And in this tutorial we are going to talk about how you can create your custom dialogue. So I'm going to close the emulator and we're going to start creating it, and for this I'm going to create a new class in my dialog package. I'm going to call it text input dialog, just like this. And this class is going to represent our dialog, so we need to extend the dialog fragment class, just like this. And now we can actually make use of a lot of different methods which are already predefined. And to do so, we right click and go to generate and then override methods. And in this little in here we actually search for on create dialog. There we go. And inside of this method we are going to actually create the dialog. And to build a dialog we're going to need a dialog builder, so we're going to create one, alert dialog dot builder, and then we're going to call it builder. It's new builder, just like this, and you need to pass the context here and just get activity like this, and we need to return a dialog, so return builder dot create, just like that. And between these two lines we actually have to define our dialog. So for example, if I go builder dot set title, we can actually set the title to our dialog. For example, enter a text or something like this. Yeah, that's great, but we want to be a custom dialog, so we need to create our custom layout. So we head to our layout folder and create a new layout resource file, and we are going to call it dialog underscore text input, just like this. Hit OK. And there we go, we head over to the text editor, and in the text editor you actually can add any widget you want. So I'm going to add an edit text, just like this. I'm going to specify the width and the height of it, and to make it look nice I'm going to specify a margin. And what is very important is that every view you want to add needs to have its own ID. So Android ID, and now you need to think of an ID. I'm going to say text input dialog underscore edit text. Oops, like this. And yeah, this should work. This is my custom dialog. Of course you can add images and buttons and everything you want to it, but I'm just going to go with that. And now I need to actually interact with it inside of my text input dialog. So to do this I first need to to inflate the layout we just created. So I'm going to need a layout inflator, but luckily I don't need to create one, we can simply get one from the activity like this. And the layout inflator needs to inflate the layout we just created. So it's going to be r.layout dialog text input. We don't have a parent view and we don't want to attach it. Oh, a little typo. So inflator.inflate, just like this. Right now we inflated the layout we just created, and now we actually need to get the edit text inside of this view. So we can call edit text user input, edit text from root view, and we're going to use we never created a root view, so we're going to do now view root view equals inflate, just like this. We need to import root view here, and now we can use the find view by ID, just like this. Now we have to enter the ID we just entered. It was text input dialog underscore edit text, just like this. Now we have our edit text, and we can do anything we want with it. And of course, we want to get the text the user input, the user entered in it. So we should continue by adding some more properties to our dialog. For example, we can say set cancelable to false. This way the user won't be able to press the back key to cancel this dialog. We can set, of course, we have to set the view, otherwise we wouldn't create it, so we set the view to root view. And we have to set two buttons, and this is set positive button with the text done, and we need to specify new on click listener like this, and also we need to say set negative button, which says cancel, and which also has a new on click listener, just like this. So, and now we actually need to get a way to actually interact with our main activity, and to do so I created a little interface. I'm going to show you now. It's a custom dialog listener, and as you can see, the interface just defines two methods: on user selected value, on user cancelled. And the first method is called whenever the user presses the done button. The second is called when the user presses the cancel button. And you might wonder why I already created it, and it's because I already used it with the previous two dialogues I already showed you in the beginning. And yeah, so if you don't have this interface already, because I already featured it in my blog, you're probably going to need to create it now. But yeah, it's just 3 lines, so I guess it's okay. And now I'm going to show you how you can use it in your dialog. So you need an interface, an instance of it, private custom dialog listener, and we're also going to need to create the setter. So public void set listener custom, just like this. So right now we can actually think about how we can get whatever the user entered back to our main activity. And yeah, we just imported or implemented this listener, so we should use it. And if the user presses the cancel button, we of course want to call the onUserCancel method. And if the user presses the done button, we of course want to call the onUserSelectedValue method. And as you can see, we need to pass a bundle here. So I'm going to create one. Bundle args. Args equals new bundle, just like this. And we pass it over here, just like this. But it wouldn't make much sense just to pass an empty bundle. So we need to put the user input inside of this bundle. So, and if you know how bundles work, you know that we are going to need a key to do this. And if you need a key, it's always a good practice to store it globally. So I'm going to go to the values folder and then to the strings.xml file. And as you can see, I've already added some strings, but we're going to create a new one. And I'm going to call it text input dialog return. Because it's a little bit like the return value of my text input dialog. And you need to specify value as well. So text put dialog underscore return. The value doesn't really matter. We're just going to use the name. And here, we're going to use this string we just defined to put the user input in the bundle. So args.putString. Now we need to get the key, so we use getString. r.string.text input dialog return, and the value itself is going to be user input .get text .toString, just like this. So, and this is the text input dialog class, I guess. It should be working right now. And now I'm just going to head over to the main activity and show you how you can actually make it appear on the screen. And I'm going to write a new method for it. It's called private void create text input dialog, just like this. And we're going to need a new text input dialog dialog, and we're going to need to set a listener to get the values from it. So set listener, new custom dialog listener, and in the end we also want to show the dialog. So dialog dot show, and you need to pass the fragment manager, but you can simply call get fragment manager, and you need to specify a tag. And this can anything you want, doesn't really matter. Probably like this. And now inside of the listener we are creating to set it to the dialog, you actually can specify what should happen with the user input. So to get the user input, you are going to use the key we created inside of the string.xml file, this key over here, So string text equals value dot get string, and the key is going to be get string and dot string dot text input dialog return, just like this. And you might wonder why I'm using a bundle, not a string directly. But this is because this custom dialog listener class should be for more than just my text input dialog, because I'm using it with all kinds of dialog, and as you might imagine, not all dialogs are returning string values. So I thought the best solution would be to use a bundle here, because in a bundle you can put any value you want, and then to store the keys globally and to get any value I want from it. And so that I'm not going to need for every dialog an own listener, but that I can have one listener for all dialogs. And now you got the value the user entered, and yeah, you can do anything you want with it. I'm just going to set it to this text view dot set text this, and the same if the user cancels the dialog. I'm just going to call text view dot set text, and I'm going to use a predefined string just to show you it works. Oops, not this one. User cancel dialog, this one. And to actually show it, I'm just going to call the method we just created. Create text with input dialog. So this should be it. I'm going to save the project now, and I'm going to run the emulator, and then I'm going to show you how it looks like. So here we are again, and as you can see, I've got the app running in my emulator, and if I press on the third button down here, you will see the dialog we just created coming up. It has the title we defined, the two buttons, and I can enter any text I want. So my very important message, and if I hit the done button, you will see it gets redirected to the activity. If I create another dialog and hit cancel, you will see this also gets redirected to the activity. And yeah, that's it. That's how you can create your own dialogs in Android. If you want to have the full source code of this working application, you can find it on my blog. I linked it in the description. And if you have any questions left, feel free to ask them in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later.